This article is from March of last year. One by one, the presenters inside the crowded hotel ballroom share their computer screens and promise to show how easy it is to hack into voting systems across the U.S. Drawing gasps from the crowd, they highlighted theoretical vulnerabilities in programs for past elections, but instead of tailoring their efforts to improve election security, they argued that all voting machines should be eliminated. A message that was wrapped in conspiracies about elections being rigged in favor certain candidates.
I literally think we should get rid of all of the computer craziness.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I'm getting there. This next line is my personal favorite because the Freedom Seeds, they say a year ago, we were at war. The only thing that's not flying right now is bullets. Guess what? That's a true story.
Okay.
That's absolutely a true story. We are definitely at war right now.
Yes.
They have just learned to use education, voting, economics, media, and panic pandemics as their weapons of choice, along with human carpet bombs.
Well,
we did a whole episode on that.
Yeah, it's a psyop war.
Yes.
All right. And, the mainstream media is not on our side.
No.
And we have a whole bunch of small little channels, which I'm one of, that are speaking the truth, you guys. So it's up to you to please, after this is over, share this far and wide, because this is our country here.
Yeah.
And this next election is going to determine if we're going to keep going down a road of peace or something else.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Look, with the voting machine thing, there is a movement going on right now. It's funny that this came out a year ago because I've been watching the process in the state of Michigan where we have rounded up the names and addresses and phone numbers and emails of every county clerk and township clerk in the entire state. We have 119 counties. In Lapeer alone, I believe it's 47 townships. We have a pretty big county. And we've been contacting them. The Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, has been going insane because we have opened several lawsuits against them just here in the state of Michigan. There are other places this is happening as well, but Michigan's the one that I'm intimately familiar with. Here's what you do. You're a voter, yeah? So you go, you vote. And that's as far as most people ever get. You don't know anything about it. Now, I did this myself. I tried this myself because shady shit has been going on in the state of Michigan and in other states. Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Arizona's had problems.
Georgia.
Bunch of others. Georgia. That's right. That's
Wisconsin,
right.
Minnesota.
Do you remember the reporter, Tracy Beans?
Yep.
We helped her do all of her analysis as well. The map that we're going to look at later, we have one for Georgia as well. I just don't have it up right now. At any rate, you can go to your county clerk and you can say, I want all of my voting information. I want everything you have on me, my voting information. That'll give you your whole voting record. So I pulled my voting record, and in 2019, I voted from an address I hadn't been at since 2017.
Yep.
I had 3 different voter IDs.
And if you, first of all, you can ask for your voter info because it's covered under FOIA.
Yes, and it is your information.
And it is your info.
That voter information is yours.
And where do you get this at? Your county clerk, county clerk,
or township clerk. You can go to your township clerk as well. Can I zoom your camera so we can see what you're doing over there?
I'm just I have brain damage, so I have to put this in.
You have brain damage?
Yes. County clerk, or what is the other one?
Township clerk.
Township. TWP.
TWP clerk.
Okay.
I'm waiting for you to misspell TWP.
That's okay. I can spell stuff. I do it all the time.
Yeah, I know.
But everyone out there could do this.
Do it. Because here's what happened next. So I get all of this information, right? And what the county didn't know is there was about 300 of us that had been talking at meetings for weeks about this. One by one, we all went in and did this. And the county's like, oh, hey, oh, shit. Oh, shit. So all of a sudden.
What you're describing here is called grassroots.
Yes, that's correct. All of a sudden, the other counties get wind of this, and they start they start talking to the Secretary of State, who passes out a memo that says, oh, we have to delete all of this information from the elections because that's what the regulations say. Except there is no regulation.
There is no
that says
regulation.
So I take my voter information to the county police, the township police, and I file a vote fraud investigation.
Hang on. You got to write that down. Vote.
I pull up a bunch of my power bills. I pull up my mortgage, my deed for my house, all of that stuff. And I show him and I say, hey, these are wrong. And why do I have 3 different voter IDs here?
Yeah.
Now, the cop I spoke to is the boots on the ground guy. It's officer friendly. He's the one patrolling the streets. He's pretty receptive to the whole thing. And he takes it in. And about 3 days later, I get a call. Hey, we got to push this up to the county sheriff. I'm like, that makes sense.
Okay.
I understand. Push it up to the county sheriff. And it goes to this detective who is known for being the guy who only takes the cases that will make him look good, and he's getting ready to retire anyway. And he hems and haws. And
so asshat
around for yes,
asshat detective,
asshat.
Yeah, detective. I know many of them.
You know, yeah, detective asshat.
Yes.
And then my case quietly goes away, but all of the sudden, now there's
300
or 300 other cases. Some people's voter registrations were not messed with.
Well, hang on.
They're smart enough not to mess with them all.
Well, hang on. So your case went away.
Mm-hmm.
Do you realize you have a federal lawsuit against them for doing that?
Like this federal government is going to do
it's just headaches. They're going to have to defend it.
Yeah, I understand.
If you have 1,000 fucking people doing this,
yes,
it gets really fucking expensive.
That's what we're building up to here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because we ran this experiment in our county.
I'm so spun up. I'm jumping over.
I get it. We ran this experiment in our county to see what would happen.
Uh-huh.
And there were a couple of other counties. And of course, because I'm old and my thinking meat is damaged, I can't name the other counties right now except for Macomb.
Oh, there's Lapeer, Oakland, Macomb.
Well, no, that we did the experiment.
Oh, yeah.
There were a couple of others. There's a sheriff in one of the counties whose name is Darleaf, who is really pushing this now. What we are going after is all of this electronic information. When you vote and they use machines, clearly can be corrupted. I looked at my corrupted data. I have copies of my corrupted data.
I'm going to go down to the state and do that, the county and do that shit tomorrow.
Everybody should do this.
Yeah.
Everybody should do this. This is a way we can really put them on notice. All you have to do is go down to your township office and say, I want all of my voter information. And they must give it to you.
Yes.
If they tell you no, you take down their name and the date and the time, and you file a formal complaint with the township. If the township pushes back, you file with the county, and so on and so forth. But if enough people are doing this, it causes so much heat that they have to do something. Here's what happened in our county. We pushed and pushed and pushed, and they tried to push back and say, you can't get any of this information anymore. We're going to make it so you can't get it. And we're like,
good luck with that.
Because Michigan law, they had been panicking and reacting. We put them in a reactive state.
Which is good because you make mistakes when you react.
Anytime you study warfare, one of the very first things you learn is that you want to keep your opponent, your enemy,
reacting
in a reactive state.
You don't want them to set up.
Especially in asymmetric warfare.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Especially it's like the primo moment. If you can get them rocked on their heels and just keep whack, 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 and you can take on an enormous force with like a few dozen guys.
Yes. And guess what? He thinks like me. Everything is fucking war, including this administrative horseshit.
It's exactly it. It's exactly it. So what ended up happening is the state tried to say you can't do that. We had already done the homework. We already had the lawsuits drawn up. By we, I mean the county, the group of people that I was working with. I did a lot of the research for them. I wasn't one of the frontline guys for this next portion. I was just reading the laws and handing them pieces of paper, said, here, try this. The state immediately began breaking the law, saying that you can't have your information. We're not going to cooperate with you. Now there are 3 lawsuits in the state of Michigan going after the state for this. The Secretary of State herself, Jocelyn Benson, She's trying to insert herself into the Macomb case as a defendant.
Ooh.
Now, when somebody that high up the food chain tries to insert themselves as the person who might be guilty of going to jail, what does that tell you?
That they don't really fear it.
They're panicking.
Well, one, they think they can get away with it.
They think that she's high enough up the food chain that we won't pursue it.
Ah, so it's a bluff.
We kept pursuing. Guess what? She withdrew.
Oh, good. Why'd you let her withdraw? You should just keep her in there and sue the shit out of her.
No, there was a way that she was able to withdraw from that.
All right, yeah, okay. We're talking legalese 3-shell Monty bullshit.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. I'm old. My mouth dries out quickly. I make a terrible hooker.
Yeah.
So you've got these 3 lawsuits going. That's where we're at right now in the state of Michigan. Look, we know all of this voter fraud stuff is going on. We know it's going across all of the states.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Michigan, here's another one. Governor Whitmer signs historic election bills package to ensure every vote can be cast and counted. What she's done is ensure that everybody can vote from the comfort of their home using pretty much anonymous mail-in absentee ballots, which can't be accounted for.
It can't be verified, tested, or accounted for.
And Michigan just got 1.4 illegal aliens.
1.4
million illegal aliens.
Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah.
A bunch of states are doing this.
I'm telling you right now.
A bunch of states doing this.
If they really go crazy with the selection stuff in
Yeah.
2024, it is going to get dynamic.
They're doing it now. This is something that if you've got the time, if you have any time at all, or if you know anybody who cares that has the time, your pathway in is through the townships. Start pulling that election data now, because I guarantee you they're doing this shit. I absolutely guarantee it. So one of the clauses in here that's not in this document here, I found it in the actual draft of the bill, but of course I forgot to pull that up, but
That's
doesn't matter.
It happens.
Here's what it boils down to. Once an election has taken place in the state of Michigan, you will only have something like 24 hours to question it.
Yeah, that is ridiculous.
Which amounts to no time at all.
There's no reaction time.
Yeah. There's no reaction time at all. What they're doing is ensuring that once they throw their fraudulent election in your face,
you can't do anything about it. You
can't even challenge it.
Yeah.
Which is insane. The whole premise of this Bolshevik revolution that's going on is the same thing that it's always been. Oh, look, Comrade Kim won by 98.9% of the vote. Oh, look, Comrade Castro won by 99% of the vote. You see
kind of like Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least Putin is like letting the Russians be Russians, though.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a benevolent dictator. Yes, he'll kill you if you piss him off in any way, shape, or form. But meanwhile, there's vodka and blinis for everybody. So, I mean, if you have to have a dictator, that doesn't suck.
All right. But here's the thing, though. This is happening in my own state.
Yeah.
So I'm very upset at this. And the governor we have, the way she handled the whole COOF bullshit, she literally ruined the economy of the state by closing down 2/3 of the businesses because she put out a mandate that they weren't legitimate or they weren't necessary.
She tried to prosecute a barber.
Yeah.
And a woman who had a diner over in Holland.
Correct. Yeah, this is going to get out of hand. I'm just saying, this is going to get really out of hand.
Don't spiral me down the lockdown hole.
All right, sorry.
Because I will go off.
Let's pull you back.
Crazy on that.
Pull you back from the lockdown hole.
Crazy on that.
We're on the voting hole now, so we'll lower you in there. Let's lower you in there.
Lockdown hole right now.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.